Hi guys, welcome to the Team Sizzle. It's the 25th of the month, y'all. We've got 5 days to shut down June. So make sure you're checking your numbers, you're checking your back office, you're making sure the orders are where they need to be. I did get wind that doTERRA is allowing makeup orders. So if you have customers or you yourself place an order less than 200 PV, you can call customer service and place a makeup order of the PV that you need to get to reach 200, and you will qualify for the promotional oils, the 3 free oils. So take a look at where that's needed and see if that would be a good fit for you. I think free is always a good fit. My next announcement is that the Healthy Habits Kit ends on the 27th. So don't be thinking that ends on the end of the month. That's not true. It's the 27th. So if you want to get that kit, make sure you're getting it ordered. I would suggest getting an extra kit just because why not save the extra 20% and use it next month. So as far as announcements, that's what I had. Make sure also if you're in Rockstars, which obviously all of you are, if you're coming to convention, please click yes on that event. You go to Rockstars and then go to the events tab, you'll see a Rockstar convention event there. Please click yes on that so we know who's coming. We've got some fun things planned for convention this year. So you guys, you know I love you all and I love talking to you all the time. I've been getting several questions in my inbox lately regarding commissions, regarding fast starts, regarding how Power of 3 works, and regarding how to make money with doTERRA. So I have asked the doTERRA money-making queen, Miss Joanna, to join us and explain to us how quickly and easily the doTERRA compensation plan is, and how when you have a new builder, or if you are a new builder, how to share it with them in a way that they'll understand and can get going right away. So Joanna, I will turn it over to you.
Awesome, thank you. Hi guys, I'm so excited to talk about this topic. I know it's kind of a weird topic to be excited about, but I'm a firm believer that you have to know where your money is going to be coming from and exactly how you're going to make it if you plan on making it. So there are some things that we need to discuss so everybody never misses out on another penny ever again, because we've all, especially when we first started, probably missed a fast start check or commission or something. So we're going to cover all of the basics and everything that you guys need to know. I even have my whiteboard. Don't be intimidated. There's going to be a quiz at the end. No, just kidding. All right. So if you want, at any point, feel free to write any questions in the chat. If you want me to repeat anything, let me know. This is probably the most confusing part of doing the business, honestly. Like understanding compensation and structure, we're not going to talk about structure today, but compensation and structure are really challenging to learn. So it's good even if you have, a good grip on it, just to hear periodically to make sure you're not missing something. So, all right, let's get right to it. So doTERRA is super, super, super generous, right? We know this. They give us so many different opportunities to make money that it's almost like you have to try to not make money if you're doing the business, right? It's almost impossible to not make money doing it. So let's talk about the number one way, and the least favorite way that probably none of us should be using if possible, and that's retail. So you all know that you have a website that you can set up, and you can always send your link to somebody and they can peruse your website. And when they do it that way, a lot of times they just go to shop instead of join and save. And when they hit shop, they are taken over to the retail portion of your store. So then they're paying full price. They're not enrolled. You get 25% commission, which the 25% comes from the difference between what retail costs and what wholesale costs. So you don't have to place an order. You don't have to be any specific rank. If anybody goes on your retail site and orders, you automatically get a check from doTERRA for 25%. Now, obviously, if you are doing the business, this is not ideal. It's like buckets versus hauling buckets versus building a pipeline. So you make that one-time purchase, but then you never know where that person goes. They could go off to another class somewhere or meet with another wellness advocate and find out that, oh my gosh, I could have saved 25% and gotten my shipping reimbursed and points and started getting, you know, product points for getting free oil. So definitely discourage people from buying retail if at all possible. I don't even really talk about that as an option, to be honest. People don't even know they can buy retail from me. So every once in a while, somebody will accidentally stumble on my website and buy retail, but it hardly ever happens. Any questions on retail before we move on?
Can I ask a question that I get asked frequently?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I share my retail link and I do not have $100 order, will I still make a commission?
Yes, you will, Kenzie.
So if you have someone on your team who's not necessarily interested in sharing and chooses to haul buckets, as long as they share their retail order, they'll make money.
Exactly. Yep. I had to review that before the call because I was like, wait, I haven't thought about that in so long. But yes, it's true. You do not have to place any order and you will still get paid retail. So, and if you do find that somebody does buy retail from you, definitely follow up with them and contact them and send them information on how to enroll and start their membership. And the other way to avoid that, if you are sharing, is to create your link generator, and whatever product they're interested in is to automatically include a membership with that. So if they're not interested in getting a kit but just purchasing product individually, then add that $35 enrollment packet option, so that way they are enrolled as a member and they still get that 25% off. So I believe they would have to spend, I think it's a little over 150 PV for the year in order to justify spending the $35 enrollment fee if they did not join with the kit. I'm terrible at that kind of math, so hopefully somebody can tell us if that's what the amount is, but it's roughly about that. All right, so now moving on, the fastest way that we all start earning money when we first start building our business is fast start bonuses. So fast start bonuses are awesome. You get paid every single Wednesday. And in order to get paid at all times, you have to have your LRP cart set up. That's number one. And there has to be 100 PV sitting in your LRP cart at all times because it's an automated system. So it goes around, and if you don't have that 100 PV sitting in your LRP cart, you will not get paid commission that week. So always have that in there. I see people missing out on their fast starts during months where there are specials and you put in like a one-time limited item in your cart and you process your LRP and then it disappears. So make sure that you always check every single week to make sure that that 100 is still sitting in there. So you do not ever miss a fast start bonus. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 levels of fast start. I'm going to bring my thing here. So with fast start, it follows enrollments. So you always, can you guys see that okay? So you always want to be enrolling people because it's the best way to be making that weekly fast start bonus. So when you enroll somebody, so I'm going to put you here, right? You're going to enroll, let's say, Joe. So for the first 60 days that Joe is enrolled, 60 days, you are going to make 20% off of everything that Joe purchases. Not anything he sells, not anything else, just his purchases. You don't make unilevel, you don't make anything else other than 20% of whatever he purchases. So let's say he enrolls with a kit, he gets the Home Essentials kit, you make a $50 commission on Wednesday, then he can't stop talking about oils and his mom ends up enrolling. So now we have Joe and his mom. So now, so you made that 20% off of that. So now Joe makes 20% off of the kit that he enrolled his mom with. However, because you enrolled Joe, you make 10% of this kit right here. Does that make sense? This is a little bit confusing, so stick with me. All right, so now let's say my upline is helping me build, right? Or your upline, let's just keep it at that. Your upline is helping you build. So now your upline enrolls somebody, and they, different colors, you guys. I'm such a geek, sorry. All right, so now your upline enrolled somebody, they put them under Joe's mom. Who gets the 20%? Does Joe's mom get it? Does Joe get it? Or do you get it? Nope, nobody does. The upline gets it. So your upline gets the 20% because they enrolled Mary over here. So even though they're down in your downline, you are not getting that fast start because the money always follows the enroller. All right, so now Joe's mom is doing awesome and she enrolls her friend, Betty. Okay, so now who gets the 20%? Joe's mom, right? She gets the 20% from Betty here. Joe now, because he enrolled his mom, who enrolled Betty, gets 10%. This is going to be so confusing. I hope you guys are still with me. And because I enrolled Joe, I get 5%. So this is how you can see the more people you enroll and the more people who you teach to enroll, the more you duplicate that, the higher those checks can really be. So it really, it's like one of the best things you can do, especially when you're first getting started, is to get people hosting classes and enrolling right away because they start getting the fast starts and you start getting even further levels of fast starts. So, okay, any questions on this scenario? Or Kenzie, do you have any other questions about fast starts that come through?
Can I just regurgitate what you said and see if we're on the same page? Maybe if I say it back differently, somebody else will hear it differently.
Yes, please do, because it's
so whoever enrolls gets 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So if I enroll someone, I get 20% of whatever they make.
For the first 60 days.
For 60 days.
Of the person who's enrolled.
Mm-hmm. Now, if that person that I just enrolls somebody else next month, they get 20% and I get 10%.
Correct.
And then if that person the next month enrolls someone, then the third person in line will get 20%. The person above them that is their enroller will get 10%. And I will get 5% because I enrolled the first.
Right.
So basically, if you're not in the enrollment tree within the first 60 days, you will not be paid.
Correct. So this is something that we get asked a lot. Oh, well, there's all these people under me. How come I'm not getting paid? Because you didn't enroll them. So as you know, part of our structuring, which we'll talk about when we get to unilevel, is to help our teams build because it helps them succeed and we get paid more money each level further down that we place people. So it makes sense that uplines are placing people below their downlines. However, the fast starts always goes to basically reward the person who did the work, who brought that person on, who did the follow-up, who got them an LRP. So that is why fast start is set up that way. So again, this is for the first 60 days of their enrollment. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is people think that they only get paid fast starts in their first 60 days, and that's not true. So for the rest of your doTERRA career, as long as you have that 100 LRP set up and you process one 100 PV LRP order each month, you will always get paid fast start bonuses on whoever is enrolling on your team. So you can legit not enroll anybody a month, but as long as you have people on your team who you enrolling, you will still get fast start bonuses. So initially when you're first getting started, this is a huge part of your paycheck. Usually up until about Premier, Silver range, because that's where some bonuses start coming into play. All right, so now let's talk about unilevel. So after 60 days, we have unilevel that starts to kick in. Let me erase some of this stuff.
Guys, while we're on that and it's fresh on your mind, does anyone else have a question? Don't be afraid to speak up. I know for some of you, this is the first time you've ever seen it presented like that. And so it's okay if you have a question. Don't feel like you should know this.
Yes, please do. It's confusing. See anything in the chat? No?
We're good. Keep rolling.
We're good. Okay, so now here you are. You have Joe, you have the mom, you have Betty, Mary. Mary now enrolled a few people here. Betty enrolled some people who enrolled some people. You're moving and grooving, right? So now these are what we call levels. So unilevel. Wow, I should have gotten like a straight, what do you call it, ruler or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Will you point your camera down just a tad, if you can? There we go.
Okay. So in unilevel, there are 7 levels that you get paid on, and some of it goes to dynamic compression, which we'll talk about, because you don't get dynamic compression until you are silver. So basically, again, you get paid on different levels based on your rank. So this is where rank starts to come into play. Because let's say, again, you have an awesome upline and they're building and they're placing people underneath you, but you may not necessarily be hitting that rank. You won't get paid on all these levels unless you're a certain rank. So once you are manager, so at the rank of manager, you can get paid 2% on your entire front line. So the people on your level 1, this is called level 1. You may hear us refer to it as your front line, because these are all your front line people. So as you see, you don't want to have a giant front line because you're only getting paid 2% on those people, and it's not helping anybody else rank, including you, until you start hitting the rank of premier, which requires at least 2 frontline leaders, and we'll talk about that. So manager, then we have director. So to be paid at the director level, which would be 3%, that's your level 2 people. Okay, so we have manager, director, executive. Hold on. Level 3, you get paid 5%. So that's actually quite a nice jump, right? You can see, like, if you have people who are placing orders, and let's say you have, I don't know, 100 people on your level 3 placing 100 PB order at 5%, now you're starting to get more of that unilevel commission versus somebody who's, you know, let's say you had 100 people on your level 1 only making 2%. It might not seem like a big jump, those percentage points, but they really do add up once you start really building your team and having a lot of people. Level 4 also stays at 5%. I'll bring this up a little bit once we get down there. Level 5, you get 6%. Wait, am I doing? Yeah, right? Level, no, 5. Level 6, you get 6%, and then level 7, you get 7%. Kenzie, maybe you can get like a nicer graph, like a picture that's not as messy as my board here that we can share the screen with. Okay, so that's how that works. So the questions that we get asked about this is, well, what happens if people here don't, if they don't place an order? What happens to that? So the way that doTERRA works, and it's what's different than other companies, is that they pay you, they want to pay you on as many levels as possible. So as long as you hit the rank for that level, you're going to get paid because the people start rolling up. Does that make sense?
So what you're saying is for every 100 order placed, there'll be a comp paid out for that.
Correct.
So if somebody below you didn't place 100, but the next person did, it would go, the payment through doTERRA would go through every person who placed the 100. Yes,
it would roll up. So that is
really, so when they say you get paid on 7 levels, that's 7 levels that are placing $100 orders. right? Because it could possibly be 13 people deep, but
Yes,
because there wasn't 7 people in a row that placed an order, it might bounce down. And then
exactly.
the plan comes up.
Yep. So like when I look at my compensation plan, like on the 15th that comes out, not my compensation plan, my commission statement, I
Mhm.
get paid all the way down on like level 16 at this point.
So
So
I'm gonna share this. Can you
okay.
see that?
Thank you. Perfect. So this is a little bit more organized than my beautiful whiteboard here. So
I
this
prefer your
explains
whiteboard.
the different levels that you need to get paid on.
So that's what you were saying. So like here, if you're an executive, you can get to the 5% level. If you're an elite, you can get to the 6. If
Mm-hmm.
you're premier, you get to 6. But not until you hit silver can you be paid out on all levels possible.
Exactly. So that is another incentive of why you want to get yourself to silver as quickly as possible. Because now, if you have a team that is deeper than 7 levels, you will start getting paid on all of those levels if any of your levels miss out on ordering for the month.
Cool.
So this is super confusing. So again, feel free if you guys want to ask any more specific questions about this or how it works. But study this, have it out, so that way you know kind of what's what when this happens. All right, so I'm going to erase this again. Actually, I'm going to leave it up for a little bit. So as you can see, this is why it's so important to build your organization deep, not wide. Because again, if you're leaving all these people on the top levels, you're missing out a ton of money. You're leaving that on the table. Plus, you're not helping your other people rank up. And we're going to talk about why ranking up is important as well for bonuses. Okay, so let's get a little bit into the ranks.
Can I ask you one question while we're talking about how many people on your front line?
Yep.
So let's say I've enrolled 5. Let's say I've enrolled 3 people, but they do not all place a $100 order. Only 2 of them do. When I enroll my next person, should I put them on my front line and hope that they turn on an LRP, or should I move them down below one of my people who are already ordering?
So ideally what you want to do is you never want to guess. You want to have a conversation with somebody, because those frontline spots are like gold, because those are the people you're going to be working with, right? You're going to be putting your enrollments under them. You're going to be helping them. They're going to be mentoring. So I would never put anybody on my front line unless I had that conversation with them and got a verbal commitment from them that they plan on, at the very least, spending their 100 LRP PV order every month. Otherwise, there's no sense in leaving them on your front line or building under them. So have that conversation with them. But yes, I would not leave people on my front line until I was a solid, basically premier, and then start thinking about starting your next leg. Because you want to get to that premier rank as fast as you can, because that's where you start getting your empowerment bonus. So again, there's no point in really leaving people unless you're building for power of 3, which is what we'll talk about as well, because that is another bonus. So, and there's so many different ways to structure. So everybody has a different philosophy on what they teach and what they do and what they think is best. So I'll share, you know, my kind of strategies and views, but there's so many different, you know, views on it. So definitely study it and see what fits best for your way of building. Okay, so now Joe has this organization down below him. He has reached elite. So to be elite, he has to have 3,000 OV. So OV is organizational volume, which means that between Joe and all these people below him, the total is 3,000 OV. That's not money. That's not dollar amount. So we always look at the PV and OV. So PV is personal volume or product to value, and OV is organizational volume. So you have to look at that. So when people tell you, oh, I placed, you know, somebody this month told me, oh, I placed a $200 order. Why didn't I get the free oils? I was like, because it has to be PV. So again, not all things are PV equals dollars. So you got to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that too in your back office. All right, but for this, now Joe is elite and he has 3,000 OV. All these people are below him. Joe will not be able to rank nowhere past elite. It doesn't matter if mom became a diamond, Betty became a diamond, Mary became a diamond. He could have like 17 diamonds underneath him and he will stay at elite until he starts a second leg of somebody that he enrolled. And that person builds a team, or it doesn't matter, you know, how deep it is or where it is. Let's say, I need a fun girl's name. Alice. I don't know. We'll go with Alice. All right. So now you enrolled Alice, right? And now Joe, his team has 2,000, and Alice has 2,000 OV, which makes you Premier. Woohoo! Premier is an awesome rank to get to. I kind of see it, even though they say silver is really the first leadership role rank, I kind of see Premier as it really is, because now you're being intentional about your structure, you're helping two separate people build teams, you're motivating, you're, you know, inspiring these people to want to do this. So Premier is an awesome, awesome rank to be at. With Premier comes one of your first bonuses. So you have your fast start bonus, which we talked about, but with Premier, you get an empowerment bonus. Every single month that you are Premier or Silver, but we'll just talk about Premier for now, and you have to enroll at least one person with a 100 PV order. So if you are Premier, but you don't enroll anybody that month with a 100 PV order, this empowerment bonus, which is roughly about $200, goes away. So again, this is why you always want to be enrolling. Enroll every single month into enroll at least one person. Because you don't want to be leaving $200 on the table. I mean, seriously, guys, like imagine like taking $200 bills and like just burning them or like ripping them up. So whatever you have to do, get that enrollment when you are Premier so you can get your empowerment bonus. Okay, so now you are Premier, and now you're going to start your third leg. So in order to be Silver, Alice, Joe, and Lindsay. I'm not very creative today. Okay, so now you are going for your next rank, which is Silver. Silver is an awesome rank. That's where you get to start going to leadership conventions, you get into certain groups, and you start getting some of the money from leadership pools. We'll talk about that. So what does it take to be a Silver? So now to be a Silver, Joe needs to have 3,000. He needs to be an elite. Alice needs to have 3,000. She needs to be an elite. Lindsay needs to have 3,000, and she needs to be an elite. And all three of these people have to be your own personal enrollment. So here you are, but if, let's say your upline places at Lindsay here, and you do not have enrollment of Lindsay, it doesn't matter what she has, what rank she is, because she will not qualify you for Silver. So again, this is why these people have to be your own enrollments. Does that make sense? Okay. So at Silver, you get paid on all 7 levels, and that dynamic compression kicks in. So now let's say Mary, who your upline placed underneath you, like took off, and she is like growing like wildfire. She's already like platinum, right? So now you have a platinum. She's not enrolled to you, so she doesn't qualify or anything, but she has like 10 levels underneath. You will start getting that dynamic compression. So let's say now mom stops ordering, some other people here start ordering, but your level 11 is ordering. That'll roll up to you, so you'll get paid on all 7 levels, no matter what, once you're Silver. Really cool. Okay, so at Silver, you still get that empowerment bonus that we talked about, as long as you enroll one person with 100 PV that month. And now you're going to get 1 share of a leadership pool. So leadership pool shares generally are about between 140 and 160 each month. They go down usually during BOGO months because more people end up breaking up that month. So it's roughly about 160. So as you can see, like the money starts really coming in at the silver premier level with these bonuses that you're getting. Plus all your fast starts for all the people that you're enrolling. So that's where the average for a pretty established silver is about, you know, $2,000 a month in income. Pretty good. Okay, so now I actually want to give you a different scenario. So let's say Lindsay told you she's going to be a diamond. You enrolled her, you put her on your front line, you put, I don't know, give me a good name. I'm struggling with names today.
Sunshine.
What is it?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. So you enrolled Sunshine a few months in, and you put Sunshine under Lindsay on your third level, right? So Sunshine is on your third level, but you hold her enrollment. Lindsay disappears off the face of the earth. She doesn't want to do the business anymore. She's crazy, okay? So she's gone. But Sunshine is like killing it. Sunshine over here enrolled 2 different people, and she is now a premier. Can she qualify you for you to be silver, even though she's on your third level? She can. So here's the awesome thing. We keep talking about the front line, and in an ideal world, this is how you want it to go. Like you want to have, you know, all of your frontline builders, all pretty, your organization is great, everybody does what they say they're going to do, and, you know, it all works out. But that's not the way it always is. As a matter of fact, most of my qualifiers are on my 4th level. So none of the people that I originally started with on my front line are my qualifiers. So you can have anybody anywhere in your organization. They can be on your 10th level as long as you enrolled them. You don't want to put people on your 10th level, but still, let's say you had a crazy woman and you put them on your 10th level and they became a diamond and you hold their enrollment, they will be your qualifier in that way. Okay? So Sunshine here is now one of your qualifiers. You still have Joe and you still have Alice. Does that make sense? So again, this is why you always want to be enrolling, and when you help your team, you still want to hold on to those enrollments so they can be the sponsor, but make sure that you hold on to that enrollership because you never know what's going to happen. So you never want to give away your enrollership of somebody unless it's going to help you rank. Okay. Do you want me to keep going past silver, Kenzie, or do you want me to talk about
I think that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So let's say I want to be a silver. Can you give me a range from minimum to highest of how many people do I have to enroll to make that happen, do you think?
Okay, so roughly, I was doing some homework on this. In order to be an elite, you roughly want to enroll about 15 people. And that's, let's say, if nobody else is enrolling, right? So if you're the only one enrolling, if you have about 15 personally enrolled people, you will be an elite. So think about that for each of these. So since you need 3 elites to be a silver, each of these people should ideally have around 15 people underneath them. And also, it's so hard to tell because it depends on how good you are at LRP, right? Because let's do the math. So if you have 3,000 in OV, what's that divided by 100?
30. So you have 30. So you have 30 people place a $100 order, right? Oh no, that
doesn't
30.
Make sense then.
No.
30 times 100. Yeah, okay, so it's not 15, it's 30.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry guys, okay. I'm really bad at that part.
Well, that's not necessarily 30 enrollments, it's 30 people ordered, right?
30 people total, yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're your enrollments, only one could be.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, but you need roughly 30 people in each elite leg. If you have 30 and they all order 100 that month, that will be make an elite leg. But yeah, it's true. Most people, you know, don't end up enrolling and ordering every single month, so you're going to need more than that in each leg. But there you go. Any other questions about this part? So just to give you an idea, so I'm a diamond and I have about 50, it changes every month because you know how they like delete people off your tree who are not active. So it was over 5,400, but now it's like around 53 something. I have only enrolled personally a little over 100 people, just to give you an idea. So you don't need to be, you know, enrolling 1 million people, but you need to be really good at enrolling the people who enroll, right? So I have like really high enrollers on my team, like doTERRA and Jennifer Yates and Lisa Zimmer, like all those people who are personally enrolled to me, and they enroll a ton. So again, you don't need to be doing that yourself, but you do need to at least enroll one person every single month to get these bonuses that we talked about. Okay, so we won't go into gold and all that. We'll just keep it at silver. So
yeah,
now let's talk about fast start bonuses. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And one of the questions that I had on that with a fast start bonus, one of the things that came up to me is, if I enrolled Sunshine today,
Yeah.
how soon can Sunshine start making money?
So if Sunshine doesn't enroll anybody, then she'll have to wait the 60 days for Unilevel to kick in, unless there are 3 people underneath her who order their 100 PV and who, and the whole front line underneath Sunshine is at 600 PV. So let's talk about that scenario. Here's you. Let's say that you decided right away to put 3 people on your front line. Or you got like super duper lucky and 3 people were like, yeah, I'm gonna do this with you because you're awesome and I believe in this business model and I wanna help change the world and, you know, oil everybody. So now you have these 3 people, A, B, and C, and each of these 3 people order 125, 125, 125. You order your 125. You only need to order 100 to get paid, right? However, you want to be getting a free product of the month, so you should always be ordering your 125 if you can. So, and then you got some like, I don't know, what's 125 times 4? You guys, I'm really bad at this math stuff. 125 times 4 is 500, right? So if you and these 3 people order 125, you're only at 500. So you're $600, you're 100 PV short to get your $50 bonus. So how do you get that? You put another person here, or you get a retail order, something, you know, some other people are on your front line because you left them there because you were working towards getting this $50 bonus. And we'll talk about the pros and cons of that. So now, if you placed it, at least 3 people placed it on LRP. So these cannot be standard orders. Standard orders do not count. They have to be LRP orders. And yours has to be an LRP order. And so you and your front line total is 600 OV. These 3 people placed, you will now get a $50 bonus. That's pretty nice, right? $50. And now let's say that you teach these people to do the same thing because they're like, oh, I want to get my $50. $50 sounds awesome. So they do the same exact thing. They go and they enroll 3 people. Or you are working on your $250 bonus and you put people here. So for the power of 3, unlike Fast Start, it does not matter who enrolls the person. This is one question that I get a lot. Well, I didn't enroll these people. Somebody put them underneath me, so it doesn't qualify for power of 3. That's not true. It does. So it doesn't matter who put these people here. Your upline could have put these people here. As long as they're here, they ordered their 100 LRP, you will get your power of 3 bonus, which has 3 levels. So the first one is $50, not percent, $50. The second one, if these people all are getting their 50, you are going to get $250 now. Okay? So level 1 is 50, level 2 is $250. So this is pretty cool, right? $250. Now let's say you're a Premier. So at Premier, you're getting that empowerment bonus. So now that's $200, plus you're getting your fast starts, plus you're getting, you know, unilevel at that point. So you're making, you know, 1,000, a little over 1,000, hopefully. So that's really life-changing for a lot of us, right? $1,000, you can do a lot with that money. Even $250, you could do a lot. So now this is where it gets like super complicated, and I personally do not teach my team to do this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because some people swear by this structure and they love the $1,500 bonus. So now there's a third level of Power of 3, and it gets you to $1,500 bonus every single month. And that's if each of these people here each earn their $50, right? So I don't teach people to do this, because basically what they end up doing is plugging holes in every single month. Because if this person doesn't, you know, order their LRP, or they fall off, or something happens, now you're basically structuring not for long-term longevity of your rank, but you're structuring for that immediate $1,500 bonus. Which, yes, it's enticing and it's a lot of money initially, but when you see the bonuses for the ranks and the higher pools and everything, $1,500 is really not that much when you start getting to those higher levels. Plus, it really can just get really distracting and can really mess up your structure. So again, I'm going to totally, if anybody has a different opinion on that or a view on that, feel free to share it. It's very, I feel like it's subjective. doTERRA teaches this a lot. They think it's naturally, people like will rank following the $1,500 structure. So people have had success doing this, others have not. Plus, it also keeps your organization not that deep, because if you're constantly plugging this level here, that's your 1, 2, that's your third level, right? So if you're constantly putting people on your third level, what's the percent that you get paid on your third level? 5%. So you're missing out on dynamic compression, you're missing out on 6%, 7%, all those different percentages. But it is enticing to get that $1,500. So you guys can decide what is right for you. Any question on this?
Joanna, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Say you enroll say I enrolled somebody this week, and they turn around 3 days later and enroll 3 people, 3 family members.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is their enrollment month, they can't place it. They can't place an LRP order yet. So, do they get knocked out of the fast start?
Nope, they will still get paid fast start as long as they have their LRP set up to process the following month. So if they enroll those people without having their LRP cart set up with the 100 in there, they won't get paid. But if they do, they will get paid. This just came up on my team last week, actually.
Thank you.
So, yep, no problem. I'll ask a lot, actually, because that does happen. People get really excited and they want to start enrolling right away. So back to your question, Kenzie. So how soon can, who was it, Sunshine, you enrolled Sunshine, how soon can she start getting paid? So let's say you're an awesome upline, Kenzie, and you believe in Sunshine, and she's, you know, already scheduled 6 classes and she's a rock star. So you enrolled a bunch of people and you put people underneath Sunshine here. And again, they all placed their order that following month. And Sunshine placed hers, and the OV is 600. She will get a $50 bonus that next month. So that's one scenario where you can start earning right away, along with baskets for anybody that she enrolls.
Okay, Joanna. So, how do we clean up our trees?
Oh, man.
Or is that a topic for another evening?
We could spend like a month talking about that. There are some ways, but let me make sure I covered all of the compensation and commission question stuff first. So, okay. Oh, let me just quickly just touch upon those pools that I talked about. So at silver, you get 1 share of that $160 roughly bonus. At gold, you get 5 of those. At platinum, you get 10 of them. So as you can see, at platinum,
you angle your whiteboard for us a little bit? There you go. Now we can see it.
Is that better?
Yep.
Yeah. So at silver, you're making $160 bonus from the leadership pools. At gold, you're making roughly around $600, and at platinum, $1,600. So again, this is why I feel like, you know, structuring your team for platinum, which takes, oh my gosh, 3 silvers. So you need the 3 silvers. And now you're making that every single month versus plugging in for the power of 3, 1,500. I feel like that's a more, a better way to make money quicker and longer term. Maybe not quicker because it'll take you a little bit longer to get to platinum, but it's more sustainable, in my opinion. Okay, anything else from the commission section that I have to talk about? Or compensation?
Does anybody have any questions? You guys can unmute or you can type into the chat. This has been so excellent, and it's answered a lot of questions I think that I've had coming in lately.
I know it's dry and it's hard. It's kind of like sitting through a class, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I know it's not the most like sexy subject ever.
I don't know. It's about money. I dig it.
I like it. I could talk money all the time. Just don't make me do like multiplication and stuff.
Right? Get the calculator out. I think one thing just to, if you're sitting here and you're brand new and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, know that you don't have to know this all today. Like this is a learn as you grow process. And you'll know when you've earned it when the check arrives, right? You'll say, oh my gosh, well, why did I get this? And you'll figure out why that was. So don't feel like you have to memorize the compensation plan to get started building your business.
Right, absolutely. Main thing you need to know is to always have that 100 in your LRP card, especially if you're enrolling people. You plan to enroll people, or you have people who are enrolling people who you enrolled. If that makes sense.
I think my question needs to be another topic for another time. Could we do that, Kenzie?
Sure, you betcha.
Okay.
Yep. I love structure stuff. So, but it's definitely like a very loaded, it can definitely take a long time, and there's a lot of different strategies, but you can make exemptions. You can, exception forms rather, which have to be signed by 7 levels up, and there's all kinds of tips and tricks that you can do to clean up your organization for sure. But the number one thing is, especially for anybody new, just really find a mentor who knows what they're talking about in terms of structure, and don't move people without their guidance. So have them guide you and get on those weekly mentor calls with your mentor and say, okay, I have, 3 people to move within the next 14 days. Let's mastermind and let's think about where's the best scenario that will, get me to my goal and that is aligned with how you want to build. So I still do those with my team, like the ones who are enrolled 2-3 years. Like I don't let them move people without talking to me first. I'm like, do not move anybody. We're gonna talk about this. So
that's smart.
Because I made so many mistakes, so that's why. Like most of us have made a million mistakes in structuring, and that's why Iris is asking, because we, have a million people on our front line. I think I have something like 30 people on my front line. 30.
Girl.
For Diamond, you need 4, okay? I need 4 people on my front line as qualifiers to be a Diamond, and I have 30. So it's all this wasted volume that's just sitting there, right? So that's why get people off of your front line and like treat that spot as like pure gold, like that person has to really earn that spot. You never put somebody there hoping or wishing that maybe someday they might place an LRP order, or maybe they'd be really good at the business, because 90% of people who even say they're going to do this business don't end up doing it. So those spots should really be for those like unicorn rock stars.
Yeah. One thing that we didn't talk about really is sponsorship. So when you're saying don't put them on your front line, you're not saying give away that enrollment. Will you clarify that?
Yes. Okay. So there's two different things that you can be to people underneath you. You can be the enroller. So that means that you went out and found them, spoke to them. They went to your website or you filled out the form and they became a wholesale customer or a wellness advocate using your ID number. So you are their enroller. So again, this is important because the Fast Start plan follows that enrollership. So now you can then move them to a different sponsor. So let me get my whiteboard out because I think it's easier. I'm gonna walk around with a whiteboard everywhere I go now. So here you are again. So let's say you hold your first class and you enrolled 10 people, right? 10 people are like, yes, this is awesome. We're doing this. So you don't want to put all those 10 people on your front line, right? You don't want to do that because you'll end up like me with 30 people on your front line and be stuck at a rank forever. So what you want to do is find somebody who is either saying, I want to do the business. Yes, I'm committed to spending 100 PV every single month. Or find a ghost leg, which is, again, like a whole other topic. So a ghost leg can be somebody who's basically like a placeholder for you until you find your rock star, or it can be somebody like a parent that you want to build a leg for. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So now this person, let's say it's your mom, she has committed to placing your 100 PV order, and then let's say your sister, she also has committed, and your best friend, right? So these three people have now committed to placing their 100 PV, your BFF, your mom, and your sister. So you still have 7 people that you have to put somewhere. doTERRA gives you 14 days to move them, which means place them anywhere in your organization that you want. So now you can take those people and you can put them underneath your BFF, your mom, your sister, or let's say there's even more that want to do the business, right? So let's say like 5 people want to do the business. So now you want to maybe go even further, right? You can do that. This person is now the sponsor of these people, so she can get paid unilevel on them, and she can get paid power of 3 bonus, but the enroller, the Fast Start bonus goes to you for the first 60 days. Did I totally confuse you guys now?
It makes sense. So when you look at your detailed genealogy tree, just be like, you see the circles, and if someone's underneath a circle, it doesn't mean the person above them is an enroller. It just means that's where their placement sponsor is. So you would actually have to click on that person to see who their enroller is, because they could be way up or just 1 or 2 or 3 above.
Exactly. Yep. But this is how you would start structuring your team with those first 10 people, so you don't leave them all across, but you're not giving away, you know, the enrollment of those people.
Can I ask you one placement strategy question while we're talking about that?
Yes.
Just real quick, we have 10 people come to one class. Let's say you're at work. You have a work party, everyone comes over after work, you enroll 10 of them. Do you put them all on the same team or do you not?
So who is it? Is there a hostess? Are you the hostess?
I'm the hostess. I invited everyone to my house after work. Everybody came. 10 of my coworkers enrolled.
And they're all friends?
Well, we all work together.
So yes, I mean, ideally you do want to keep them all together, because now let's say you put them on separate legs here. So you put one of your coworkers here, another one here, and another one here, and they all start building. Now, as you can see, that can create really bad blood in the office and your friendships. You don't want to have competition like that with the people. Plus, what can happen is now you put one at the top there and the other ones start building, and now she's motivated to help all the other ones. So everybody really benefits from that scenario because everyone's helping each other and they're all on one team, and they can all really keep each other motivated that way. Versus,
I mean, I knew you were going to say that, but the only reason why I asked is to just reiterate the point that before you move anyone, speak with someone that's building. Speak to your person so you can strategize through this, because they're going to have ideas that you're not going to have.
Right. Yep. And ideally, you really don't want to put your mom and your sister on separate legs like that if they're going to be working together, unless they don't really, unless your mom is, again, like I said, just a placeholder or somebody that you're building under or whatever. But you do want to keep people who are, you know, similar interests, similar geographical areas, definitely like a work setting, family. You want to keep them together to minimize any drama later on, because you just never know. Somebody could say, oh my God, I'm never doing this business, but I'll host a class for you, and you know, you enroll 10 of my people, and now they're like somewhere else, and they're like, wait a minute, why isn't my best friend underneath me, or whatever else. So
this has been so fantastic. I think we could talk about this all day long. We might need to do a part 2 and a part 3, and just to keep getting these questions answered. But I would like to invite you guys to go back and re-listen to this recording, because you're going to get something out of it every time. This has been so value packed to help you with your different level of your business. And when you reach the next place in your business, I suggest coming back and listening to it again, because you're going to see it differently than you are tonight.
yes. And another little tidbit is for structuring, maybe for some of like not the brand new newbies, but some of people who are maybe thinking about diamond, structure your team for blue diamond, not diamond, because blue diamond is like a completely different animal. And so many people find that if they structure for diamond, then they have to like basically start over to reach that next rank. So have those rank, do you guys know the rank sheets that you can fill out? Fill out one for your next rank, and then fill out one for blue diamond, and always keep the two kind of side by side to know where you're going to be placing people. I'm so passionate about helping people not mess up their organizations. Like I should have been diamond so much faster, you guys. Like I should have been diamond a couple of years into my business, not 4 years in. But because I had all these legs that were started and left everywhere, and I didn't, you know, put people under people the correct way, and you know, I put too many people in the same leg, and whatever it was. So it happens. You're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna have people that, you know, say they're gonna do something, not do it, and then it's just part of it. So
Joanna, that is exactly what I did too. Exactly. So
yeah.
now I'm trying to clean it up. Thank you for everything you talked about.
No problem. If you ever want me to look at your organization, let me know. Love that stuff.
I do. I will talk to you.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm going to shut off this recording so we can do a giveaway.